Y'all know exactly who I am. My name is Logan Paul, the person that you paid your money to come see. So shut up.
Yeah, it's just like the most sugary drink that doesn't have sugar in it. Like,
what are they using for a sweetener?
I don't know. They taste like Kool-Aid with 3 times the sugar in it.
Really?
This morning, there's a new warning for parents and kids about energy drinks. Maybe you've seen Prime Energy on social media.
Why the drink is getting so much negative attention, schools are actually banning it.
That ABC News exclusive with Logan Paul, the YouTube superstar who has millions of young followers, now officially summoned by U.S. federal authorities for investigation, facing a series of serious allegations: financial fraud, false advertising, and endangering public health. If convicted, Logan Paul could face decades in federal prison, along with severe financial losses and the complete collapse of his brand reputation.
This morning, the warning got louder. Parents are being told to watch what their kids are drinking. The bright bottles, the viral trend, the rush to grab a flavor before it sells out. The brand is Prime. The chatter is about safety. And the question echoing through classrooms, gyms, and kitchen tables is simple. How did the internet's favorite drink become something schools are banning? At first it felt harmless, a no-sugar hydration hero in neon colors, pushed by 2 of the biggest names online. Logan Paul and KSI promised a new wave, a better bottle, a cooler culture. The hype machine roared. TikTok clips popped off, shelves emptied, resellers flipped cases in parking lots. Parents who never watched a vlog were suddenly in line at dawn because their kids begged for it. Then the fine print caught up. Prime Energy came in with caffeine levels that shocked nutritionists. 200 milligrams in a single can, about double a standard energy drink. And the labels looked close enough to create confusion. Hydration on one side, energy on the other, same logo, same colors. Kids grabbed the wrong one. Teachers saw shaky hands. Parents reported pounding hearts and sleepless nights. Principals drafted emails. Districts quietly blocked the bottle from campus. All of that placed the spotlight on one person, Logan Paul, the entertainer who built an empire by turning attention into money. He was now facing a storm of allegations and investigations. Critics said the pattern felt familiar. Big promises, big marketing, bigger fallout. To understand how we got here, we need the full arc. Logan's rise was rocket fuel. He mastered short video, then dominated long form. When Vine shut down, he jumped to YouTube and built a machine. Millions of subscribers, clothing lines that sold out in minutes, cameos, TV spots, a top podcast with celebrity guests and viral moments. He learned something many creators never figure out: how to convert views into products, how to convert products into culture. Then came the lowest moment, a trip to Okigahara in Japan. A video that crossed a line the internet had not seen from a mainstream creator. The outrage was global. Sponsors walked, platforms tightened rules. The public verdict felt final. But Logan rebuilt. He apologized. He laid low. He returned with a calmer tone, a sleeker brand, and a sharper playbook. Boxing matches brought mainstream attention. WWE offered spectacle and legitimacy. The podcast delivered charm and access. The comeback looked complete when he launched Prime with KSI. The former rivals turned partners pushed a simple message: fun flavors, big hydration, star power. The result was pandemonium. UK corner shops had lines around the block. US grocery stores limited purchases. Some bottles resold for sneaker prices, and that sheen hid cracks that were already spreading. Long before Prime school bans, another story was brewing. CryptoZoo, a web project pitched as a playful blockchain game: buy digital eggs, hatch rare animals, combine them for value. Logan called it the Pokemon of the future and said he put his own money on the line. Fans trusted him. They bought in.
How much did you guys make from CryptoZoo?
I lost around $50,000 in CryptoZoo.
I lost $40,000.
And I lost around $15,000 US.
I lost $25,000.
The token spiked, the community buzzed, and then nothing worked. The eggs would not hatch, features were delayed, the trading economy stalled. Investors watched numbers fall and kept waiting for a patch that never came. For more than a year, Logan avoided the topic. People who had followed him for years posted losses: $5,000, $15,000. One investor claimed $500,000, then an investigator stepped in. Coffeezilla released a series that mapped the timelines, the code, the team, and the money. He alleged the project borrowed code, skipped payments, and relied on partners with histories that should have raised red flags. The internet listened, the narrative flipped. This was no longer a quirky failed project. This looked like a broken promise to the very people who funded it. Logan reacted with heat, a response video, legal threats, claims of misrepresentation. Behind the scenes, messages later surfaced showing a focus on punishing critics rather than fixing the product. The backlash intensified. A limited refund program was announced. It covered a small slice of the total losses and asked participants to give up the right to sue. Some took the offer, many did not. Lawsuits gathered. The trust he had rebuilt after Japan was dented all over again. And now look at the timing. As the CryptoZoo fallout grew, Prime was exploding. Logan and KSI flew city to city, tossing bottles to crowds. Athletes posed with cases stacked to the ceiling. Stadium signage made the brand look unstoppable. But the same core issue followed him into beverages: trust. What exactly was in the bottle? Who it was for? How it was being sold? The trouble was not only caffeine. Nutritionists looked at formulas and said the marketing overstated hydration benefits. Parents posted photos of kids drinking the energy version after games because the packaging looked nearly identical to the non-caffeinated one. A few independent tests claimed contamination issues in certain batches. Public officials asked regulators to look closer at the advertising and the placement next to kid-friendly products. Schools acted first. They banned it to keep hallways calm. Logan attempted to turn the page with a factory tour video. Gleaming floors, stainless lines, declarations that the products met safety standards. He pointed at competitors using certain food dyes and implied Prime was the cleaner choice. The move worked with die-hard supporters who wanted reassurance. It backfired with critics who saw deflection. They wanted admissions and changes, not rival bashing. Meanwhile, the business strain sharpened. Retailers that had once rationed bottles saw pallets sit longer. Resale prices collapsed. Partners grew restless. Legal disputes over contracts and unpaid balances surfaced in public court filings. The headlines were brutal. The aura of invincibility was gone. Step back and a pattern emerges. When Logan is praised, he moves fast, markets harder, and scales bigger. When questions appear, he pivots to production value and legal muscle. The apology comes late, trimmed to a tight soundbite, and followed by a new product rollout. The cycle repeats. That rhythm wears people down. Fans do not want to be defense attorneys for the person they support. Parents do not want to read labels like pharmacists. Investors do not want clues, they want clarity. There is also a deeper cultural lesson here. We have built a system where influence is currency. If you control attention, you can launch anything. Drinks, apps, crypto tokens, fitness gear. If the pitch is confident and the story sticky, the first run sells itself. The second run sells if the first run delivers. When it does not, the damage is not just financial, it is emotional. People feel used. That is why the school bans hit harder than a product recall. They signal something beyond a formula tweak. Administrators talked about behavior. Teachers talked about distraction. Coaches talked about kids who tried to fuel up with a caffeine blast before practice. The drink had become a status object, then a classroom problem, then a district headache. Once a district labels your product a disruption, it sticks. From a brand strategy view, the Prime rollout will be studied for years. The launch was flawless. The partnerships were elite. The scarcity play was textbook. The collapse in goodwill shows what happens when you scale faster than trust. Rather than pacing growth and over-communicating differences between hydration and energy, the brand relied on celebrity heat and viral momentum. That works until it doesn't. There's a human piece to this too. Logan has always been a performer powered by audience reaction. The roar of a stadium, the spike of a view counter, the dopamine of a product selling out on day one. Chasing that high can push anyone to skip steps. Vetting partners is boring, label nuance is boring, careful rollouts are boring, but this is the boring work that protects fans. So what now? For Logan, the path forward is not a louder defense. It is methodical action. Full separation between hydration and energy on shelves, clear age guidance and ads, third-party testing shared without spin, a transparent accounting of the web project losses with a timetable for repayments that does not require silence, a pause on new product launches until the trust account is rebuilt. That is not flashy, it is the only move that works. For parents, the lesson is simple and annoying. Read the label every time, even if the logo is familiar. Energy drinks are not for children. Hydration does not mean zero risk. If a school bans something, there is usually a reason that came from lived experience, not moral panic. Talk to kids about the difference between a bottle with caffeine and a bottle without it. Make that a habit like checking seatbelts. For fans, the lesson is to separate entertainment value from expertise. Loving a podcast does not mean the host can build a safe financial product. Cheering a wrestler does not mean the performer can manage a supply chain. Subscribe for the show, invest only after independent research. If a creator ties your identity to purchasing a thing, step back and ask why. For regulators, the challenge is speed. The internet has compressed marketing cycles to days. Investigations take months. By the time a letter goes out, the trend may have already morphed into something new. That is why clear rules on design, age targeting, and placement matter more than press conferences. If a caffeine product for adults looks identical to a hydration drink for kids, require a design change. That single rule would prevent 1,000 wrong bottle stories. The most painful part of all of this is how preventable it was. None of the problems require a genius to spot. Confusing packaging, overstated claims, partners with messy histories. The warning signs were not hidden, they were ignored because attention was the North Star and attention was booming. When both speed and scale are the goal, corners become tempting. Logan's arc still fascinates because it mirrors the platforms that made him. Loud, fast, constantly reinventing, and always just one post away from redemption. He has already come back from the kind of scandal that ends careers. That resilience is impressive. It also makes the new wave of criticism sharper. People who gave you a second chance feel burned when old mistakes rhyme with new ones. There is still a version of this story where he does the unglamorous work, refunds more than expected, separates product lines with clarity, and invites independent critics to audit everything without NDAs. The internet rewards sincerity when it is matched with receipts, not sizzle reels, not tours, receipts. Until then, the questions keep piling up. How much money actually disappeared in the web project once you subtract hype from deposits? How many bottles of the energy line ended up in the hands of kids despite the warning on the label? How many schools will quietly keep the ban next year even if the headlines fade? How many parents now say no by default to anything with that logo, even the caffeine-free version because it is easier to be safe than sorry? Strip away the lights and the noise and the stories about trust. Fans trusted a creator to guide them into a new digital economy and got burned. Parents trusted a celebrity to sell a safe drink and got worried phone calls from the school nurse. Retailers trusted a rocket ship brand and found themselves with pallets that no longer move. Trust is not anti-celebrity, trust is accountability. Trust asks you to treat your audience like partners, not targets. Trust is earned when you do the boring work in public and let independent people check it. Trust asks for patience and pays out slowly. When that becomes the metric, the product either stands or it doesn't. No jump cuts can fix it. This is the hard question left hanging in the air. How many chances do we give our internet idols? Is redemption infinite if the next launch is exciting enough? Or do we finally slow down and hold the line when the same playbook rolls out with a new flavor? Tell me what you think. Did Logan build a brand too fast to control it? Or is this the bill coming due for years of cutting corners? Are you done with the hype cycle? Or do you still believe there is a clean comeback on the table if he does the work? If you made it this far, you are part of a rare group that cares about the details. Drop a comment with your take. Hit like if you want more deep dives that put receipts before rumors. Subscribe so you never miss the next breakdown. And shout out to our newest subscribers. You keep this channel fearless and independent.